And welcome to the Squared Circle on 90.3 WHPC. I'm Anthony Tardamella.
Woo! Yeah, let's do this.
Alongside me, Justin Greenberg, coming off the adrenaline rush that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. Getting pumped up.
Speaking of adrenaline rush, is that a name of a pay-per-view?
Oh, you're on 3. I thought you were on 2.
No!
Sorry. While you're yelling. Oh, no, now you're good.
I'm good?
3, yeah. I thought you were on 2.
I thought I was too, but the yelling definitely came
It got picked up, for sure. I heard it through here.
There we go.
We're good.
Speaking of adrenaline rush, was that a name of a pay-per-view?
It might have been.
It had to have been.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah. If
Better
not,
than Great Balls of Fire, which is our next pay-per-view, I think.
we need a cricket sound effect for that one.
Right? Where we're going to have a fatal 5-way, as was determined last week on Raw, which I was actually at.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
How
to my
was
good
that?
friend. It was good. It was pretty good Raw. My good friend, Tolly, who I don't think he's listening because he works in Manhattan, so I don't think he hears us. But he could listen on TuneIn if he wanted to. But I don't think he's listening, so thank you, Tolly. Tickets, he works for the NHL, so we got to go in the suite there.
Sweet.
The
Oh, yeah, we did that joke.
yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
I remember now.
Good seats. Actually, really, I was like in the Prudential Center. The suites are like right above, like in the Coliseum, where like the 100s would be. It was like sitting on the top of the 100s.
And how was the crowd reaction? Because I feel like I didn't watch most of it. Anthony, I gotta admit, I've been like, kind of zoning out during Raws and just like playing video games instead.
I don't blame you, man. Raw has gotten
even SmackDown
a little repetitive.
Yeah.
SmackDown has been good.
At least they're trying something new.
Yeah.
I'll always watch the pay-per-views. I'll always watch, the classics on demand, like all the old Nitros and Raws and whatnot. But just getting through these Raws has been difficult because the 3 hours and the lack of depth of the roster and, the world champ not being there, which is never a good sign.
Doesn't help.
So where do you want to start? I think we should start with Well, again, going back to last week's Raw, anything that stands out? Anybody get kicked out or fans going crazy for anyone?
One guy got thrown out for throwing a beach ball or something.
Yeah, I actually
and
did
then
read
got
that.
popped or something, and everyone was chanting for the beach ball, but
great.
Stupid.
I
hate wrestling fans.
Some of them are the worst.
I am like the worst because I hate like everything I like. I hate the fans of. Like I hate Islander fans.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Islander fans. I don't like wrestling fans.
Yeah.
I hate the 10 chant. Is the most obnoxious thing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I guarantee you half the people that do that chant don't understand why the chant is done.
And it's just confusing for a lot of people. Like, what was that? What does that mean?
Yeah, why are they chanting 10? And then everyone just starts doing it, but no one really understands why. And I'm sitting there like Ty Dillinger on SmackDown, guys. Like, not even here. And then the other thing I don't know, I hate the CM Punk chant.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
stand
bad.
it. It's dumb. Chicago, I'll accept it. I'll accept it in Chicago. That's about it.
Well, we'll be seeing CM Punk at EternalCon. Did you know about that?
Yes, I heard about that. We talked about it last week, I think,
did,
briefly.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Wrestling fans, they're great, but they're not doing their job. Because to me, the wrestling fan is the third entertainer or performer in the match. If they did their part, the matches would mean and feel much bigger and much better. Take a match like Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18. Not a great match as far as, the in-ring ability, but the charisma of those performers and the reaction from the crowd made that one of my all-time favorite matches. So if the crowd's into it, if they're cheering the right guy, if they're paying attention and just, not throwing up a beach ball, they can make a bad match great, and they can make a great match just meh.
Yeah.
Like any Dolph Ziggler match you see on SmackDown. It's probably a great match, but, the crowd's just dead. So, unfortunately, every crowd isn't as good as a Chicago crowd or a New York crowd. So, and especially if you look back at, like, the Attitude Era, every crowd was freaking nuts, man.
Yeah.
It was insane.
People were just crazy, though.
I think they were just, drunk.
I think so.
Which does help with getting rowdy.
Yeah.
So let's
Backlash.
go. Backlash.
Open the show with Shinsuke Nakamura's in-ring debut on the main roster against Dolph Ziggler. I thought that was an interesting match to start off the show with, but looking down the rest of the card, seeing that there was literally two faces that won all night. I guess 3 if you count Luke Harper.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense from that angle because most times you want to open a pay-per-view.
Exactly. You want to start off with something good for the pay-per-view,
right.
And you want the fans to be happy. We both predict Shinsuke winning. It was an all right match. Nakamura's had better matches, as has Ziggler.
Like you said, it's a lot of the crowd, and the crowd really wasn't into this match at all.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in that. It was very slow. No, neither of them really got going, and we both know how great these guys are in the ring.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was a fine match. It wasn't bad. But I don't need to go watch it again. Speaking of which, before we get into Backlash, I just want to mention potential match of the year happened the night before Backlash. That was Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate for the United Kingdom Championship.
Phenomenal.
That was probably one of the best matches. Definitely one of the best I've seen this year.
Yep.
Probably one of the best I've seen in the last 5 to 10. Like that was an
great.
incredible match.
So I went to my buddy's house in Long Beach. Not a wrestling fan at all. A couple other people were there, like a girl, a couple of guys, and none of them wrestling fans. But I told them, guys, can we watch this NXT show last week? I asked them, and they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. We'll give it a shot. I was so happy that that's the event I chose for them to watch because they were all into it. If you ever watch wrestling with people that aren't wrestling fans, it can be awkward at times.
Yeah.
It could be like, ugh, I swear it gets better. And this was a great show to show them professional wrestling. You only saw the UK match, right?
I saw the Roderick Strong match.
Which was a solid match as well.
I saw the Pete Dunne match.
Yes.
And I saw some of the women's match.
Yeah, so the women's match was all right. The Pete Dunne match we talked about was amazing. And the opening Roderick Strong versus
it was a good match too.
Eric Young was really good. At the end, we also had a great championship match between Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami.
Yep.
And Bobby Roode winning. Bobby Roode is one of my favorites in NXT right now. And then the main event was great. It was the Authors of Pain taking on DIY in a tag team ladder match. And again, I'm so glad that this was the match, the event my friends watched. And you got the classic heel turn to end the pay-per-view. Ciampa turning on Johnny Wrestling, Gargano. And this will lead to some really good matches in NXT because they had a great match in the Cruiserweight Invitational. So I expect big things, some really good, hard-hitting grudge matches between these two guys.
My only thing is I hope that this doesn't end with them kind of just being like, oh, we're just going to go for, they're just going to go to 205 Live after this. And
I'm such not a fan of 205 Live.
That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
Yeah, I hope so.
If they would have kept them as a tag team, they could have gone against pretty much anybody on Raw or SmackDown because both of them could use another tag team. That's good.
You kidding
when the
me?
Revival came in, that was cool. That was nice. We're going to get this nice tag team in. But, then they got hurt, and now we just have literally Sheamus and Cesaro going up against the Hardys, and it's like, when are we going to get something else?
It's bad, and you've seen the same matchups week in, week out, whether it's single competitors or tag team. We really saw it last year with the females. For Raw, it was the same 4 women involved in every match, whether it was a tag team, a one-on-one, and it just goes to show you, the roster, they have a stacked roster right now, but a lot of their guys are out. Cena's not, he's not showing up. Lesnar's not showing up. Undertaker's gone. Triple H is gone. Like, all these guys that were there at Mania are not there. And you have the 205 Live. You have the UK. So all these guys are spread out.
See, if I were on the creative team, what I would say is I would honestly heel turn both Seth and Roman, and I would make them a tag team again.
Absolutely.
I would 100% do it because Roman was never more over than he was when he was in the Shield.
See, I don't know if I would have them as a tag team, though.
But you need to have something there.
Yeah.
There's no other draw. I mean, you're going to have, let's just say they put Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, which I think that they're heading them towards a tag team, like a stable, a Titus brand stable, whatever. So I think that's going to be like the next one, but I don't think anybody is reasonably going to care or take them seriously. I actually am a fan of Apollo Crews.
Oh, he's a great performer.
I think he's great, but Titus O'Neil is just kind of, I think he's at the point where it's like nobody knows what to do with him.
Yeah.
He's not really good on the mic at all. Neither is Cruz. He doesn't really talk at all.
He's great in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, Titus is fine.
Titus is not.
Yeah, he's fine, I guess. But, there's nothing. They're not putting anything into their tag team division. So, literally, you're just kind of expecting the Hardys to kind of carry it with Sheamus and Cesaro, who have also been great as a tag team.
Love it.
But that's all there is. And that's why you're going to get all this 50-50 booking for the next 2 or 3 months.
Well, we got the revival. I'm sure we'll come back within the next couple of weeks. So
hopefully. He had a broken jaw. His jaw wired shut. One of them. I
it's going to take at least 2 months, I would assume.
I mean, so I would like to see, because neither Seth or Roman need to have singles titles, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think if you put them, that takes 2 guys out of the equation for singles matches too, so you can kind of focus more on Bray. You can give him more of the spotlight. If you want to give him a new Wyatt family, you have Bo Dallas doing something somewhere. I know he's on Raw.
Oh, is he?
With his brother, his biological brother, Bo Dallas.
Yeah, maybe we'll see something with that. It's a lot of unanswered questions. But speaking of...
They're just not doing anything with the tag team. Yeah. That's my point.
And speaking of tag teams, though, I believe the second match of Backlash was SmackDown's tag team division. It was
the Usos.
Breezango versus Breezango.
Yes. They should just go as the Fashion Police. I've been saying this now for a few weeks.
They were funny. I saw the skit before. It was
the
actually
Fashion
really funny.
Files.
Yeah.
It's great. I did not have any, I actually thought, if you remember, I predicted them to win this, Breezango.
Yes.
They didn't win it, but it was a really good match. They both
fans were into it.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was funny. They both everyone did their parts well.
It was a little too funny.
I'm hoping that this is not the end of Breezango's push. I hope they continue on with this, because I think this is perfect for SmackDown. SmackDown, even though I think it's a better product on TV, it is still considered the B show, so you can get away with these kind of silly little video packages that they're putting together with them.
I didn't really like JBL's commentary during it. I think the commentary really ruined the match, but the fans were into it, which we were just talking about, is such an integral part of making a match. And, they were having fun. It was something different. So I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised with that match for sure. And, the Usos retain, hopefully, like you said, because the New Day is coming back this Tuesday.
Yeah, SmackDown's tag division is actually going to be pretty good, more than likely.
So now we got...
The Singh brothers are probably going to join it down soon,
exactly.
too.
American Alpha, when, the guy comes back from his honeymoon. And then Zack Ryder will be coming back. Hopefully, he comes back with a singles push.
Yeah, I think they're not going to put them back together, Mojo, and the Hype Bros are done, I think.
But still, you got American Alpha, New Day, Breezango, Usos, and then the Singh brothers. You got a pretty
Ascension is still there.
Are they?
Yeah, they're still there. They're still around. They were NXT champs for a while.
Yeah. Speaking of heel turns, just quickly back to Raw last week. Goldust turned on Archer.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I love Goldust, man.
He's
one
a great
of the
heel,
best
though.
performers. Super underrated. It would never happen. I would love for a Goldust world title run, but at least it's never happening.
I could maybe see an Intercontinental.
Yeah, man. He was such a good villain, and he's so he's been there for 25 years almost.
I say give him an Intercontinental run.
I would love it.
Why not? Have him go up against Dean.
That'd be great. That would be insane. It would be 2 lunatics going at it. If Goldust can really, hopefully, he sticks around for a few more years, I would love for that.
Speaking of Dean, I saw a video that someone had shot on their phone. It was during the dark match. I guess they were doing Miz versus Dean Ambrose in a dark match, after the show. And for whatever reason, I guess Bray went back under the apron.
Yeah.
And he ran out after the match. He just ran out, sprinted.
Oh, really?
And both Miz, because everyone saw it, so everyone was laughing. So Miz and Dean were playing along with it. So Miz was like, "What was that? How did that happen?" And Dean was like, "I've been wondering how they did that for all these years. Now I finally figured it out." It was great. Dean can be good in those sorts of situations.
Yeah.
He's campy. He's funny in those ways. I like him that way.
I know you're a big Dean Ambrose guy.
I'm not. Jess's my fiance. She loves Dean. I like him. He's fine.
All right, let's move on. What else happened?
The worst booked storyline of this whole pay-per-view, the Welcoming Committee against Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi.
Yeah.
The Welcoming Committee wins.
Surprisingly, clean.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about it.
I don't care about
I was expecting a heel turn. We've been kind of predicting most of these matches, right? I know. Well, you had Breezango winning.
Yeah.
I got the first two right. I believe I thought the Welcoming Committee would win, but I thought there would be a heel turn, maybe Becky or Charlotte. But no, they just lost clean. I don't know. it seems like the SmackDown women's roster is kind of stacked. Like, they have a decent amount of performers.
Yeah.
But I hope it just doesn't revolve around, these 3-on-3 matchups. I'd like to see it, spread out a little more. Maybe
let them
some
spread their
single
wings,
matches.
15, 20-minute matches.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Becky is a great performer that I just feel like has not been able to do anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Becky that I've liked on the main roster. I think Charlotte, though, is like the most talented one on the whole roster, not just SmackDown. So hopefully we see, maybe a revival.